Hello everyone, welcome to excuse me, another episode of my Elden Ring Let's Play. So right now we are watching the sunset or rise. I'm not sure. There's the moon, so I guess it's the sunset. And we're attempting to invade. I actually managed to invade someone earlier, but basically I had a few technical issues. So I do have the footage. It just doesn't have any audio, so I might use it or might not. Doesn't matter. It was just an invasion where I just went in and died. So we're doing invasion. It's part of a quest line. We have to invade 3 players, and hey, we were just about to invade. And the reason I want to invade other people to the quest line, and also I want to just while we wait, I'm just gonna sit down and you can between invasions you can just alt tab the video and just keep hearing me talk, because between invasions I want to talk about the new DLC that was just announced. Oh, what do the bloody, it's my second invasion, so I don't know what the what thanks to repeat invasion last started to the world. It's basically a revenge tool. I see you. Oh, he has a really endgame armor. What the hell? They all do. What level are they, I wonder? Am I supposed to heal when I invade? I can't remember. I'm gonna assume I can. I don't remember the rules. Since I'm an invader and I'm 1v2, I assume it's okay for me to heal. Bro, I swear my attacks should be hitting. Oh. No. Oh, I almost got him. Yeah, I don't remember if the etiquette is to heal or not to heal. And I, also not. I've played PvP a grand total of like 5 times. It's my 5th PvP battle, so it is what it is. Excuse me. Must have had too much to eat at lunch. Anyway, let's sit down, talk a bit. It's gonna be a bit of a different episode. As obviously gotta do the invasion first, don't I? Anyway, I just want to sit back, talk a bit about my thoughts on, well, the invasions actually, and the new upcoming DLC that was announced. And let's sit down a bit. You can alt tab the video or just enjoy the view. So first of all, invasions, which I guess would be most interesting thing to talk about, since we just did one. It's my second one. Netcode still seems to be a bit hit or miss, as we've noticed in that second fight. I would say it is something that should be worked on, because PvP in these games can be a bit frustrating if your attacks don't register. All those rules in etiquette about if you can or cannot heal, still I agree with them, but I do think there should be some way to make them official, just so I don't have to wonder if I'm doing the correct thing or not. And I don't want to ruin someone else's fun. Invaders being 1v2 or 1v3, I heavily dislike that. And that guy was actually wearing a very endgame armor. He was actually quite squishy, surprisingly, but it's a bit unfun, to be up against those two. I almost got one, and if I got the guy, then the mage would easily just be ran down. but I just didn't have the healing for it. I would say, um, there's definitely something to be worked on. Invasions are not my favorite. Uh, we're going to our third invasion. Again, I could probably edit in the first, but it's not gonna have any audio, so I don't think it's worthwhile. It's basically more of the same. I do apologize, but oh, we're here. Yeah, we're actually in this area. We haven't seen it in our Let's Play before. Where is the host? Over there. He's with a friend. I can see his friend on the left. I'm gonna... Yeah. See, that spell is fairly certain it's like very late into the game. Oh, I actually got him. Oh, his friend also got me. But hey, we got a rune arc. Well, don't mind if I do. Yeah, so I do believe they can reduce stats. So if you're good, you can still kill them. It doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I do feel it's something that is maybe well designed for, like, you know, immersion gameplay, where you can come up with lots of things to do and ways to win an even battle, but it's not something that I think is tuned for fun, and not something I really enjoy. But anyway, 3 invasions are done. It's gonna be a bit of a shorter episode, so let's just sit down again. You know, I'm gonna put an image on the screen for the DLC, and we can talk about it a bit. I mean, I wanted to make this a shorter episode, so, and experiment with a few different things, especially while editing. I actually been meaning to, but I just didn't have like an excuse to re-render a video. I didn't think it was worthwhile. But actually, you know what? I'll edit the other invasion over this. It won't have any audio, but it'll just have, you know, the sound of the rain that you're seeing right now, or hearing if I've already cut into the other video. But at least you'll be able to see how that fight went. Anyway, as I was saying, new DLC came out. The image is probably on screen right now. The DLC name is Shadows of the Haligtree or Shadows of the Erdtree, one or the other. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to go and check right now. Two things I wanted to cover from this image, but before that, DLCs in From Software games have always been incredibly detailed, incredibly fun, and they prove to be a challenge. One thing I'm hoping this time around is there is no extra challenge. I do believe places like the Haligtree, which is a place later in the game, and Varre, they've both been DLC level of difficulty compared to the normal game and the final boss. I think, especially the Haligtree, I think we don't need to go a step further. The game is at points already plenty of hard enough, frustrating enough. All the gimmicks that you would expect from a DLC boss are already in the game, in the base game, base bosses. They're optional, sure, but they're still there. And I don't see how they could make it like harder without taking away the fun from players that don't use summons or don't use magic, don't use some sort of item. You know, just a good old two-wield sword or dual-wield sword. Or two-handed sword, sorry. Dual wield would be one in each hand, so two-handed sword. But, you know, also dual wield two smaller swords. I I think for those types of players, the game is basically at the maximum for it could be before before you stop having fun. So I don't want them to do that. Okay, so just a couple of things from this image though that I wanted to point out. First, the landscape. You can clearly see a tree at the end. Definitely not the deer tree or any tree that I've seen. Could be a smaller halic tree. I've also seen some comments on Reddit about how it could be the one of the trees that you find underground, related to the Crucible Knights, if I'm not mistaken. That's a good theory. Not sure if that would be the case. Could be. Could also be something completely different. And the reason why is because if you look at the landscape, there's plenty of reeds, or, well, not really reeds, more like wheat, I think. But I do believe they can be called reeds, if I'm not mistaken. In which case, this entire point is invalid. But I do believe they can be called reeds. In which case, if you remember the samurai armor, which I'm not sure if we picked up, but there's something about a description that there is a land that is not the land of the Elden Ring, which is the lands between. There is another place somewhere. It's called the Land of Reeds. So I do believe maybe this DLC will be placed there, or will happen there. Maybe you can travel to it. And there's, maybe for some reason someone went there, and this someone is actually, it's quite interesting. The character that we see on Torrent, and we can see that it's definitely Torrent, that image. There's two characters that could be there. First one is Marika. Least likely to be Marika, just from the whole hairstyle and general position, or general physique, I guess. People have pointed out that it probably wouldn't be Marika. The other character that could be on Torrent is Mikola. We've not met Mikola, and it's gonna be a while before we hear anything concrete about that character. And we've read a few items descriptions about him. Generally speaking, I would agree more with that. I would agree that it is Mikola, especially because Mikola is a very underused character in Elden Ring. We know how important he would be, but he's generally just a character that is used by another character in their entire plot line. So I do agree more with that theory that it is Mikola. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to go on. I'm not gonna try to make a video super long about the DLC announcement. I'm not a news channel. I just wanted to give my thoughts on it and use this opportunity to try a different format of video. See how I can react to it and explain my thoughts. It basically was an experiment that I also used to do the 3 invasions, because I didn't want to do an episode on the 3 invasions, because I knew I would probably die in all of them, which I did, although in the last one I did manage to get the kill. So yeah, it's a shorter episode. I'm not gonna drag on. I'm very excited for DLC. I hope we can integrate it into the series. I hope it comes out relatively soon, so it can be integrated into this Let's Play, or shortly after. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Slightly different from the other episodes, but it's definitely been fun for me to just talk, and try to articulate my thoughts on the DLC announcement, while just sitting here. I'm not actually looking at anything. You've had probably some footage, which I've now replaced back with my character sitting down. I've just been sitting here talking, but I do find that to be quite fun, actually. It's part of the reason why I wanted to make a series in the first place. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.